books probably could have changed my life if I read them in my 20s. What's up, BookTube? I'm Anita, and this year I'm challenging myself to replace mindless scrolling through social media and binge watching Netflix for reading books. This book haul here consists of all personal development books. I've got my first 6 picked out for 2023, and I'm already done my first one for January, and I'm on to my February book right now. But I thought I would give you a glimpse of my 2023 TBR list, give you some inspiration for creating your own 2023 TBR list, and hopefully inspire you to start reading more and learning more instead of scrolling more and comparing more. Let's escape this downward spiral that social media has us in and instead go in an upward spiral, because I genuinely want to help you be better, feel better, because when you feel good, you can't help but look good. It literally ends up beaming out of you. And when you feel and look good, you end up spreading good. And we're all in this together. So let's make this corner of our world shine a little bit brighter. Cool? Cool. So because all I do is create content for platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and obviously here on YouTube, social media has become a huge part of my everyday life. And there's a lot of research on this, but I'm sure you know we've done our own research, we've gone through our own experience with social media to know that social media can be really addicting and also really exhausting at the exact same time. And over consuming it can lead to mental health issues like anxiety and depression. And not only that, it messes with your sleep, it's really hard to get to sleep, it keeps you awake at night, and it just has you sleeping less because you're probably scrolling through TikTok throughout the night or late into the night. And I don't know about you, but that is not the vibe that I'm going for in 2023. My book of choice is nonfiction personal development books. Ever since That Girl era popped off and went viral last year, and books like Atomic Habits and The Mountain Is You became really trending, it really got me reflecting on topics like my lack of financial literacy, ways that I self-sabotage myself, ways that I can become 1% better every single day, and the habits that are holding me back. And it was in trying out Project 50 last year that I really got into making reading a part of my morning routine, and then eventually making reading a habit that I loved. Side note, did you know that there is such thing as using books for therapy? Yes, it is a thing. The word for it is bibliotherapy. Look it up. Books equal self-care. And if you've never heard of Project 50 before, I made a video on it, so I'll link it in the description below so that you can go down there, click on it after, learn about it. It is a lifestyle challenge to help you become 1% better every single day. So if that's something you're into and you want to take on in 2023, click on the link in the description below to watch that after this video. Ronald Dahl did say, if you are going to get anywhere in life, you've got to read a lot of books. And honestly, reading to the mind is like exercise to the body. Just like our muscles, our brains have this use it or lose it policy. So if we don't exercise our minds regularly, things like our cognitive abilities could decline. So if you're pretty into the vibe of like learning and growing as a human being, and you want to get more into reading personal development books, you just don't know where to start, you need some inspiration, I'm going to take you through how I gathered a bunch of book recommendations to create my TBR list for 2023 and eventually do this book haul. That way, hopefully, you'll be able to create your TBR list for 2023 of books that you're actually excited to read and that line up with your goals for 2023. And then maybe do a little shopping this weekend. Get your own little book haul going this weekend. Cool? Let's dive right in. So there are so many different places to get book recommendations. Obviously, you can do it here on YouTube through BookTube, or you can do it on platforms like TikTok through BookTok. But my personal favorite is doing it on Pinterest. I find that it's not time consuming, and I find it way more intuitive because once you click on one book recommendation or book list, it opens up this whole nother world of books related to that book specifically. Let me show you. Okay, first of all, if reading books is a totally new habit to you, step one would be to figure out why you even want to start reading books in the first place. For me, it's a form of self-love and self-care to not scroll and instead find a quiet spot on the couch with my favorite bevy, nestle up with a book, and just get lost in that world. And because I spend so much time staring at screens, it's nice to just pick up a physical book and read it, dog ear it, highlight it, and use my actual hands to feel and touch something and interact with it. But hey, maybe for you, audiobooks is what works best for you. Or maybe having an e-reader like a Kindle is what you're super into, and that's what's gonna get you reading more and bring you more enjoyment. Whatever it is, just make sure that your why isn't because everyone else is doing it. And this will also help you narrow down the topic of book that you really want to focus on, because there's a lot of books out there. Okay, step two would be to create like a little mini reading goal for yourself. So for me, in 2023, my goal is to read one book a month, but this whole habit started with reading just 10 minutes a day. It didn't matter if it was a full chapter or only half a chapter, or if I only got through 5 pages, or if I got through 20 pages. Just 10 minutes a day is what my goal was to get me started with loving reading. And then lastly, step 3 is to envision it. If you're not a reader, start envisioning yourself as a reader. And this is also what I really love Pinterest for. Getting all that reading aesthetic inspiration. Really envision yourself as that girl who reads books. Maybe tag it onto your 2023 vision board if you don't have reading books as a part of that yet. Or maybe create a whole nother Canva vision board or Pinterest vision board of your favorite books that you really want to dive into, and book aesthetics and reading aesthetics. But for me, I really love to use Pinterest to create my TBR list. Okay, so let's open Pinterest up here and I'll show you. So here's how I typically will start it. But beware, this is where the mindless scrolling can come into effect real fast. So I challenge you to set like a timer for 15 to 20 minutes max and gather as much book inspo as you can in that time. Okay, remember step 1, why do you want to start reading in the first place? Maybe you want to develop a better money mindset. Maybe in the future you're hoping that you can start your own business and quit your corporate job. Maybe you want to work on your relationship with yourself or with others. Whatever that big why is, that's the topic that we're going to search for and use as a keyword. So let's say for us it is business books. So I'm literally just going to type in business books. I'm going to take you through it on my phone's app because I don't have screen recording on my iPad. And to save some time from having to set that up, I'm just going to do it real quick on here. So here you go. So you see like Atomic Habits. So this can really depend on what kind of business you may be doing, but maybe you just want to learn about business altogether. So depending on what your style is, certain things are going to really stick out to you. So maybe 10 business books for female entrepreneurs. I just like to see the covers of it. And so I'll create a board and say 2023 TBR list. And this will be kind of like where all of your book inspiration goes. Best marketing books for entrepreneurs. So maybe marketing is not something that you're really good at. So you can go ahead and put that in there. And then I saw at the top here, like Atomic Habits was in here. And maybe you've never read that one before and you see it everywhere. This is where I was talking about how it creates an entire world and rabbit hole of book recommendations. So say we click on Atomic Habits here. Now, if you scroll down, it will give you more book recommendations like this. So if you've read Atomic Habits before and you did really enjoy it, then maybe doing something like this is a way that you can find more books that are similar in topics and styles to that. So say The Psychology of Money is something that you might be really interested in, or you've really heard a lot about The Mountain Is You. And then you're like, oh, what's this? Oh, 101 essays that will change the way you think. I've seen a lot of girls reading that. I'm gonna add that to my list. And then I scroll down from this and it's gonna give me a whole new book recommendation here. So this 15 to 20 minutes, I would just go crazy saving things. So after you're done this on Pinterest, Pinterest and you've created a board of book inspiration, you can take it one step further like I did and go onto Google and read book reviews on these books. I like to go through Amazon's book reviews. So let's open up our 2023 TBR list from what we just did right now as an activity, and let's look at this Take Your Life Back. So I'm gonna put this into Google. Take Your Life Back book, and then I do review. So I will go right down here. So you can also use any of these reviews if you want, but I usually just go through the top one here. I'll say see all reviews. Here we go. So good information throughout, good book based on the 12-step principles from AA. Oh, interesting, but it's also much more. This one says beware, there's a lot of Bible verses. I'm a huge Jesus girl, so that doesn't bother me, but it might bother other people. Let's see, translate this one to English. I've listened to the corresponding seminars online, find this book simple, understandable, very well written. So that's good. College students still struggling with a nasty incident from high school involving a figure of authority on a power trip. I ordered this book hoping to gain some valuable insight into my pain and find some help for the healing process. I found both and so much more. Take Your Life Back is a straightforward, to-the-point self-help book that is well-grounded in scripture, but also takes psychology science into account. I found tremendous comfort in this book and would recommend it to other people who have gone through some rough times, whether self-inflicted or outside of their control. My incident was minimal compared to other traumatic events, but this book was still relevant and helpful for me during my healing. Even if you felt as though you lost touch with yourself somehow, this is a great book. 10 out of 10 would recommend. That is a great review, and if that's something that I'm looking for and that's a goal of mine in reading, then that might excite me. And if that excites me, then after reading reviews, I will add this to my TBR list, the official list that's going to become a part of the 2023 book haul. So that's how I created my 2023 TBR list. I went through, and throughout the year last year, I ended up adding so many different types of books to a Pinterest board. And then at the end of the year, I went through all these books, really looked at ones that stuck out to me that had been really replaying in my mind as books that I wanted to read. I checked out the reviews on them, read what people had to say about it, and if that aligned with what I wanted to get out of the book, I added it to the notes app of my phone as the 2023 reading list. And then from that's how this book haul came to be. So that leads me to my book haul. Finally. And I do honestly believe that if I started reading books like these in my 20s, it seriously could have influenced my life. I could have been so much more self-aware, financially literate, business literate, relationships literate by now from books like these. But it is never too late to learn. And maybe learning's not even your thing. There's just so much benefit to reading books in general, whether nonfiction or fiction. Reading every day can help improve your memory, increase your focus and concentration, help you expand your vocabulary and writing skills, and even reduce stress levels by more than 2/3. Not to mention, it's a nice escape from the digital world. Rapid fire book haul in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so book number 1 is The Secret. And what I wanted to get out of this was just how to have a higher vibration. And I wanted to learn a little bit more about manifesting, which is something that is so new to me, but I see it everywhere. I just wanted to learn more about how having a positive mindset and how Lucky Girl era works, which I don't know if that's something that you've seen on TikTok, but Lucky Girl era is a thing now, and so this kind of gave me some insight into how that might work. It was a really good book, super easy to read, nice and short, which is also a great way to start the year off. Number 2, which is the book that I'm on right now, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and I'm just into the first habit right now, and you know what, as I'm reading it, I'm realizing that I think I listened to this as an audiobook probably 2 years ago now, and so reading this a second time through is making me realize how much listening to an audiobook I was not a sponge at all, because I was probably multitasking while listening. So now having the hard copy in front of me is definitely way more beneficial. I'm just just highlighting and dog-earing everything. And why I got this? Well, because I want to be a more effective person in 2023. Book number 3, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'm sure you've heard of this book before, but I am not a financially literate person, or at least I'm trying to be more financially literate in 2023. I know that the amount of money that I'm going to have in my bank account is only going to grow more and more every single year, and I love to spend money, and so I really want to learn how to get better at investing my money in assets so that I can have that money work for me instead of me working for money in the future. And this one is a really great book. I also listened to it as an audiobook. I maybe got halfway through, but it was so good that I knew that I was going to want to dog ear and highlight so many parts and reread it. So I got the hard copy, and I'm going to start from the beginning again. So that is book number 3 of 2023. Next up on the book haul is The Psychology of Money. And again, I've got one other book here that has to do with finances, but this is really just about like having a good money mindset. And I'm pretty sure it teaches you just on how having a bad money mindset can really impact your finances. And so I'm really looking forward to learn more about personal finances through this book too. I know a friend of mine has read it before too, and she recommended it to me. So hoping that this one's gonna be good. And again, it's pretty thin. It's not too big of a book. And so I think that that will be perfect. Book number 5 of the 2023 book haul. Okay, this one, not gonna lie, I feel like it's gonna be dry, and I feel like I shouldn't go into reading this book with that expectation, but look at how thick it is. I don't know guys. This one's called The Intelligent Investor. If you've read it before, let me know. Also, if you've read any of these books before, let me know how they were in the comments below. Or if it's on your 2023 TBR, let me know that too, because then I want us to like swap comments on what we thought about the book. But this one's called The Intelligent Investor. Again, I just want to get better, not so much with like investing my money, but figuring out how to buy assets with my money instead of liabilities. And so I'm hoping that this can give me a lot more insight too into how other people are using their money to work for them and make more instead of spending it. And then last book of the book haul is The 12 Rules for Life, and this one I have up next. This is my March book, and we're actually going to be on vacation in March, and so I think that this will be a really good book to read on vacation. Honestly, I'm not really sure what it's about. It says The 12 Rules for Life, an antidote to chaos. And I don't know about you, but like I was talking about how like social media does this to us. It can really make you spin out in this downward spiral. And so I wouldn't mind figuring out some 12 rules for life to avoid the chaos. And a big goal of mine this year is to just stay cool, calm, collected, keep my peace. So really hoping to get that from this book this year. And that's it from me. I hope that this inspires you to create your own reading list and book haul for 2023, and that you find books that you are really excited to dig into and read, so that you can also escape the downward spiral that is associated with social media overconsumption, and really just get back to being human again with some feel-good time lost in a book. If you liked this video, please hit the like button down below. It really helps me get in touch with more people like you and share the love of reading with them. Feeling good, looking good, spreading good, so that we can make this corner of our world shine a little bit brighter, because we're all in this together. And then hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss a new video. And then comment down below if you're reading any of the same books as me, if you have any of the same books on your reading list, or what is on your reading list this year, because maybe I'm gonna add it to my reading list. I only have 6 books so far, so I need 6 more to finish off the year strong. I'll catch you guys in the next one.